Millard North quarterback John McCardle has averaged 246 yards rushing during this year's playoffs, and head coach Fred Petito hopes his success continues in their first ever championship game. Lincoln Southeast Bo Root is very impressive himself, and according to head coach Chuck Mazurski, he's an exceptional athlete with great vision and intelligence. We're about to see who's the best in Class A.
Oh, nice move.
Aurora fans, a lot to cheer about.
Showing that tremendous speed going down that far sideline. Bartle.
Really looks good for him today. Kind of a high loper.
NETV Sports, Nebraska's home for sports, is live from Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska for the 2002 Nebraska State High School Football Championships. Tonight in the Class A title game, it's the Millard North Mustangs and the Lincoln Southeast Knights. And hi again, everybody. I'm Kevin Kugler, and welcome to Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska. Back in August, when the preseason high school football polls came out, in Class A, it was Millard North #1 and Lincoln Southeast #2, or in some polls, Southeast #1 and Millard North #2. Regardless of who held down the top spot, everyone expected these teams to be here tonight for the Class A title game. Well, the polls are rarely right, but in this instance, they were at the beginning of the season. We have the matchup everybody's been waiting for all season long. Now, we'll see tonight if it lives up to all of the hype. Working with me tonight, my partner Adrian Fiala. And Adrian, you look at this matchup, you've got a running quarterback and a running back. Who wins in that battle?
Well, Kevin, that's going to be interesting to see. We're going to see a whale of a football game tonight on the ground. 92% of Millard North's offense, Kevin, is on the ground, so don't be looking for a lot of passing. But you talked about John McCardle. Not only did he average 246 in the playoffs, but he averaged almost 180 yards for the entire year to go with 30 touchdowns. Bo Root, almost 1,300 yards rushing, 16 touchdowns for him. A quality player, a tough player, an inspirational player. They run behind two of the very best lines in high school football. Millard North, catch this, averages 276 pounds per man up front. Lincoln Southeast right behind at 256. Somebody's going to get their fenders in it tonight.
It'll be a fun one tonight. The third member of our broadcast crew is Larry Putney. He's got more.
Well, thanks, Kevin. There's no question Millard North is going to run the football tonight, but the scary thing for Chuck Mazurski and Southeast is they say they run the ball so much they can lull you to sleep. Because get this, Millard North has completed this season 14 passes all season long, but amazingly 8 of those have gone for touchdowns. That's a 57% touchdown ratio when you're talking about completions to touchdowns. That is truly phenomenal. They will lull you to sleep, and when they throw, it could be for a big play.
It has been for big plays. 8 out of the 14 completions for touchdowns, a remarkable percentage. Fred Petito won't throw a lot, but when he does throw, it usually means 6 points on the board for Millard North.
And you know, last year, Kevin, that happened against Lincoln Southeast. Millard North lulled Southeast to sleep with their running game, and they hit him for a touchdown pass last year. But again, that phenomenal ratio there that Larry talked about is incredible, and it's greatly efficient.
Well, let's go to our public address announcer, Dave Shalene, for tonight's player introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Nebraska School Activities Association State Football Championship Finals at Memorial Stadium. The Nebraska School Activities Association seeks to promote good sportsmanship among the students, athletes, coaches, and spectators involved in today's contest. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity and other intimidating comments or actions directed at officials, athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the facility. Thank you for your cooperation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the players competing in the Class A State Football Championship Finals. First, for the visiting team, the Mustangs of Millard North High School. Number 1, Chad Irish. Number 2, Aaron Flynn. Number 3, Matt Van Hoos. Number 6, Luke Christensen. Number 7, Chris Rinke. Number 8, Adam Shada. Number 11, John McCardle. Number 15, Jake DeLucia. Number 24, Balin Bergman. Number 34, Jake Behrens. Number 45, Sean O'Connell. Number 49, Matt Davies. Number 51, Dave Heidemeyer. Number 59, TJ O'Leary. Number 64, Brad Underwood. Number 66, Rob Furr. Number 67, Ross Haley. Number 72, Charlie Peacock. Number 76, Seth Olson. Number 77, Mark Nelson. Number 80, Mitch Burt. And number 91, Brad Rooker. Head coach for the Mustangs, Fred Petito. And the rest of your Millard North Mustangs.
In their first ever state championship game, an amazing thought when you consider some of the guys that have come through this Millard North program, one of whom has a Heisman Trophy in his house, and Eric Crouch, and there's been some NFL caliber players to play at Millard North High School. Never, though, have they had a season like this where they've made the state championship game.
First time ever, Kevin, as you said. Todd Doxson also comes to mind. Great quarterback at Millard North years ago, went on to Iowa State, played in the NFL a couple of years, but they've gotten very close. They've gotten to the semis a number of times, but never here to the final game, and now they're in the final game. They have a powerhouse football team, and they're going to go against another powerhouse football team, and as I said, the open whale of a football game.
We've talked about this one all season long, and we're ready to get going. Let's go back to Dave Shalene to introduce the Lincoln Southeast Knights.
Now for the home team, the Knights of Lincoln Southeast High School. Number 1, Logan Papek. Number 5, Andy Burkle. Number 7, Nick Baum. Number 8, Jeff Carr. Number 13, Zach Raby. Number 32, Bo Rude. Number 36, Drew Burson. Number 38, Drew Krutak. Number 40, Tim Lux. Number 42, Brian Goldsmith. Number 49, Tony Roberson. Number 50, Mike Pease. Number 54, Brandon Boland. Number 58, Matt Mullen. Number 60, Brian Russell. Number 62, Justin Busboom. Number 74, Alan Branting. Number 77, Zach Koppel. Number 81, Logan Geisler. Number 82, Billy Alexander. Number 84, Andy Sand. And number 99, Jason Davila. Head coach for the Knights, Chuck Mazurski. And the rest of your Lincoln Southeast Knights.
The Knights are on their way onto the field for this Class A clash, and like McCardle on Millard North, expect to hear Bo Rude's name called an awful lot offensively. He's had another big playoff run, a great season for Bo Rude, and he'll figure to be a big part of the offense for Chuck Mazursky tonight.
We'll get to see a little bit of what we hope to see down the road. Also, Kevin, Bo Rude of Nebraska recruited along with Andy Burkle, a wide receiver for Lincoln Southeast, both headed to Nebraska, full scholarships, but Bo Rude almost 1,300 yards rushing this year, 16 touchdowns. Not played as much defense as he has in the past because of a back problem, but again, great offense.
Chuck Mazursky, the head coach of Lincoln Southeast, spoke a little earlier about the strengths of his night team.
Well, we play great defense, and we're good on special teams. And offense, we've been probably a little more balanced than we have been in the past, throwing the ball and running the ball. And we got a big-time guy to throw to, and we've got a big-time guy to run it with. So I feel like we're a pretty good football team.
Talk about
probably an understatement there. A pretty good football team playing in the state championship game, #2 in the state. Yeah, they're not bad. You know, pretty good football team. 1 point the difference between an undefeated season and a one-loss season for Lincoln Southeast. They lost by 1 to Creighton Prep in the 4th game of the year. They had to change quarterbacks after an injury to Nick Baugh, and they haven't missed a beat since then. The Norfolk game, the first start for Zach Raby, and after that it's been win, 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 and Lincoln Southeast is here.
And Zach came in under very trying conditions, Kevin. Bad weather, cold weather, wet weather. Here's the coin toss.
Southeast will receive in the north end zone. All right, gentlemen, let's shake hands. Let's have a good game. Good luck to both squads.
Millard North wins the toss. They elect to defer. Lincoln Southeast will be on offense first. Millard North on defense. And Fred Petito spoke earlier about the strengths of his Mustang squad.
Well, we're very good defensively. We don't give up much via the ground, and we're very physical from an offensive standpoint. We're very big up front. If we have very few two-way players, if we can extend the game into the 4th quarter, we feel the body shots we're throwing early are going to have a telltale effect on them late in the game. And then, of course, you got some Bulldogs like John and Aaron Flynn that just keep coming at you, So our strengths is, they're highly competitive kids, and they've been in a lot of games, and, we feel pretty good playing with them.
Larry Putney was down in the Millard North locker room, and he's got more on what happened in there. Larry?
Well, Fred Petito was very stern and straightforward with his club, telling them that he wanted them from the time the first kick was kicked to play with poise and character. Then he said, when the whistle blows, until the whistle blows again, be as violent as you can possibly be. Charlie Peacock stood up and told everybody that some guys dream about playing in the NFL or playing for Nebraska. His dream was to play for Coach Petito, and he has a chance tonight to win a state championship for him for the first time.
I know that's driving a lot of the Mustangs tonight, trying to win one for Coach Petito. We'll see if they can do it. Kickoff coming up in a moment on NETV Sports. #1 versus #2, getting ready to kick it off.
Kevin, as you look out over the field, you see Lincoln Southeast lined up. They have 3 deep in the receiving core, and somewhat unusual these days, but that just tells me they want to return the football, and that's why they line up 3 people back there. Usually you give up a blocker in that sort of formation, but they want to get a return, so they have 3 people back there, and so indeed we'll see a return, less obviously if it goes deep into the end zone or across that plane.
Millard North will kick off. They won the toss, elected to defer. Robbie Knight, a sophomore, will do the kicking honors, and the Class A championship is underway. Knight gets a good foot into it, and it goes into the end zone. The touchback out to the 20-yard line for the Lincoln Southeast Knights. Here's how they got here. For Millard North, wins over Creighton Prep and North Platte. For Lincoln Southeast, beating Norfolk and Kearney on their way to this state championship game in Class A. These two schools, of course, just 48 miles apart, Lincoln and Millard, just up the road on I-80, and rivals on the football field. Haven't played that often, but been Millard North's favor for a while.
The win over North Platte, no cakewalk either. They spotted them 14 to start the game, and we're about ready to start this game.
Raby under center on 1st down and 10 from the 20. Burkle in motion, and they give it to the fullback, Brian Goldsmith, but flags are down. And I don't believe this play will officially have happened. I think it was stopped before the play started. Let's see. Yep, it's a false start against Lincoln Southeast.
A little nervous anticipation there, I would say. Get the quick start out there. The old adrenaline flowing. And as you see, number 13, Zach Raby, wear that famous number. Number 13. Whoa.
Dan Marino put a good career together with it, and if he can do it, anybody can do it. First play again, in the same play, the give to the fullback Brian Goldsmith, and he picks up 4 yards out to the 19-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down and 11. Raby, Goldsmith, and Rude in the backfield, along with Logan Geisler, Andy Sand, and Andy Burkle. The backs and receivers on the line: Zach Koppel, Alan Branning, Brandon Bolin, Matt Mullen, and Mike Pease for Lincoln Southeast. 2nd and 11 from the 19-yard line. Millard North stacking that line. Raby to throw down the field. He's got a man out there. It's caught by Andy Sand, and he's down at midfield. They'll mark him at the 47-yard line, but Andy Sand, the tight end, showing great hands on a 1st down.
Kevin, they did have the line stacked up, trying to get extra pressure there. You see pressure coming from the outside, but here's a nice little touch pass to Andy Sand, who Chuck Mazurski calls one of the best football players he's ever ran around. A great player. We just saw a short glimpse of that, and probably we'll see more as we have a lot of football here left to go.
1st down and 10 from the 47-yard line. Lincoln Southeast with a big play early, and the give for the first time to Rude. Stiff arm on the outside, and he'll pick up a yard. Rude swarmed under by good pursuit from Millard North, leading the charge. Matt Davies in there along with Sean O'Connell. Defensive line: Mitch Burt, Seth Olson, Rob Fair, and Dave Heinemeyer for the Millard North Mustangs. Luke Christensen, Adam Shada, Jake Galusha, and Chris Reinke. Matt Davies, Sean O'Connell, and Balin Bergman, the backs and linebackers, for a very good Millard North Mustang defense. Too wide to the right of the line on 2nd and 9 from the 48-yard line. Raby wants to run the option, has to try to get some yardage, and he does a nice job, Abe, of making something out of nothing on that play. That didn't look like a very good play to start, and he got positive yardage.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what that play was supposed to be, Kevin, when it first came out, but whatever it was, Raby turned it into, he turned that pig's ear, that sow's ear, into a purse right there, and picked up some pretty good yardage to give them an opportunity here. 3rd down and 4 to go, Kevin. They'll have to come up with a decent play right here to get that first. Chuck Mazurski on that pick. He's always got that pick for game time.
Raby with Goldsmith and Rude behind him. Double tight ends on the line for Lincoln Southeast, and Raby wants to throw. Looking for Burkle down the middle of the field, and he misses him. Coverage on the play by Jake Galusha. He was the closest man to it. And it'll bring up 4th down and 4. Lincoln Southeast taking a shot deep on 3rd down and short.
Just trying to run the rainbow early here. Throw it up and let Burkle use that great speed. He's got tremendous speed. And that's been basically part of their philosophy. You just get that football out there and let Andy run under it. But this time the ball far left and a little too long. Almost an interception.
Young will punt it away. 35 yards per punt on the year. He gets a nice hop and picked up at the 12-yard line by Aaron Flynn. And Flynn fumbles the football. Ball is loose inside the 20-yard line. And who comes up with it? No official word. Southeast thinks they have it. We'll wait and see. Southeast has it. 1st down at the 18-yard line of Millard North.
Jason Davila, Kevin, is the guy that came out from under all of that with the football. Senior 222-pounder is Chuck Mazurski there. Here we go again. Let's take a look. Ball is definitely out, no doubt about that.
Jeff Carr stripped it out of the hands of Aaron Flynn.
99 is Davila, and he was underneath all that, and he emerged with the ball. Big break here for the Knights.
1st and 10 from the 18 of the Mustangs. Rude right up the middle, and a minimal gain on the play. Big swarm under there, leading the charge, Rob Fair. I believe the gentleman that grabbed Rude around the ankles and brought him down after a pickup of a yard. O'Connell also in there on the play for Millard North. So Lincoln Southeast trying to cash in on the first turnover of the night. 2nd down, 9.5. About a half yard is all Rude picked up there. They'll toss it to Rude with blockers out in front. Rude at the 10, and he's knocked out of bounds. About 2 yards shy of a 1st down.
One of Southeast's favorite plays right here. You see that line action up there. Great blocks on the left side. Matt Mullen, Mike Pease, and then Logan Papik leading the way from that receiver spot. Trying to get it past the 6th. 3rd down now, Kevin. 3rd and short.
From the 10, they need 2 to the 8-yard line for a first. Wide receivers on the short side of the field on that left side. Luck's in now at fullback with Rude the tailback, and they'll give it on the reverse with blockers for Burkle. Trying to get around the corner. He cannot get away. Great pursuit by Adam Shada, and he brings down Burkle for a loss. The great speed of Burkle wasn't enough to get away from Shada.
Play just took way too long to develop, and again, you see that great speed by Shada. He contains the play, gets after it, gets off the block over there. He was being blocked, I believe, by Tim Lux, but he got off that block and made the play, and that'll bring up a field goal try here.
Tony Young, he's made 5 field goals this year. This one will be from 29 yards. Young does not hit it. Wide to the left, and Southeast cannot convert on the turnover. It'll belong to Millard North, and their first offensive possession and our first chance to see senior quarterback John McCardle, who amazingly has broken Eric Crouch's records for rushing yards and career touchdowns. 3,900 career yards rushing, 55 career touchdowns for John McCardle.
Boy, that last series had to be a real big confidence plus for Millard North. Kevin, to hold that offense out of the end zone, no points.
McCardle keeping on the option, trying to get to work, and he's spun down at the 25-yard line. Logan Papik on the tackle. Let's take a look at the offense of the Millard North Mustangs. John McCardle, Jake Behrens, Aaron Flynn, Cam Tajvar, Brad Rooker, and Chad Irish, the backs and receivers. Offensive line, Mark Nelson, Brad Underwood, Grant Hajek, Charlie Peacock, and Seth Olson on the offensive line for Millard North.
And they are big. We'll talk about that size here very shortly.
2nd and 5, 25-yard line. McCardle again. On the keep, McCardle with running room. McCardle trying to get away from Burkle, and he just trips him up at the 46-yard line. First down and 10 for Millard North, and if McCardle sneaks through Burkle's grasp, he's gone.
Had a chance to bring him down right here. Line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage, but got tripped up there. 2 people got tripped up there. Southeast defenders, and now McCardle. And there you see it, a shoe top tackle by Burkle. Burkle, great speed. He can match speed with McCardle, but in that wingbone offense, you're just moving that line one direction or another, and you're just looking for spaces and creases in the defense. And when you have a guy like John McCardle, who's so fast and so quick and can move so well, it's all he needs to do, much like Eric Crouch did in the wingbone.
McCardle this time to give to Behrens up the middle, and he's out to midfield. Pick up a 4 yards on 1st down and 10. And let's look at the defense now for the Southeast Knights. They'll be tested tonight. Andy Sand, Zach Koppel, Tony Roberson, Matt Mullen, and Tim Lux on that defensive line for Southeast. Backs and linebackers, Logan Geisler, Andy Burkle, Logan Papik, Brian Goldsmith, Jeff Carr, and Bo Rude, the backs and linebackers for Lincoln Southeast tonight. Zach Koppel, there's a good look at the big guy in that defensive line. He is the big man in the middle that'll be trying to stop that young man, John McCardle. McCardle to throw, looking downfield. He's got a man out there. It's Shada, and it is intercepted. Intercepted by Lincoln Southeast. And Andy Burkle comes up with the first pick of the night.
Such a tremendous football player. Speed, agility, savvy on the field. Andy Burkle, headed to Nebraska this year, picks off his 3rd pass of the year, and all of those have come in the playoffs. And you see it right there. He is on the deep coverage. And if you're going to throw it to a guy, you don't want to throw it to a guy that has such good hands as Andy Burkle. So once again, the turnover. But this time, Lincoln Southeast is about 90 yards away versus the 10 they had it last time.
On their own 10-yard line, 1st down and 10 yards to go. Raby the toss to Rude. Student body left is Rude on the toss sweep. Picks up about 3.5 yards. And it'll bring up 2nd down and 7 yards to go for Lincoln Southeast.
Kevin, every time they do that toss sweep, you're going to see people, they're reading Rude and they're flowing people to the other side. It's going to be very tough for Bo Rude to get outside. He will have to find a crease somewhere in the flow. Matt Davies that time getting out there to the outside, along with Shada and Cliff Tullis.
2nd down and 7. Raby, the give going up the middle again to Rude, and Rude, good balance. Got tripped up for a moment, fought 3 to the 18-yard line. He's 2 yards shy of a 1st down. Well, a lot of action in this first quarter already. Some big plays, some turnovers. And we are midway through this first quarter at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln for the Class A State High School Football Championships. Zach Raby brings his Knights up facing a 3rd and 2 from their own 18-yard line. And on the give to Rude. Rude will go nowhere. Balin Bergman, Dave Heinemeyer combined to shut down Rude for no gain on the play.
And also Sean O'Connell, 45 in there. Stacked up. Good stack to the inside. O'Connell got him on the back. O'Connell, the leading tackler for Millard North this year, and again presents a kick opportunity here.
Young to punt. It's off a good kick. Flynn backs up to his 45-yard line. Flynn at midfield. Flynn down the sideline, tripped up at the 40-yard line. Saving perhaps a touchdown was number 81 for Lincoln Southeast, Logan Geisler. The 2002 Nebraska State High School Football Championships on NETV Sports, made possible in part by the financial contributors to Nebraskans for Public Television. You too can help support your statewide network and become a member of NPTV by calling 800-634-6788. You can also join NPTV over the internet. Log on to our network website at net.unl.edu, click membership, and follow the prompts. If you're enjoying our high school football coverage, please join NPTV today. 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line. McCardle will keep. McCardle brought down at the 36-yard line. Lincoln Southeast's defensive end Tim Lux gets the stop.
McCardle fakes the dive right here. Fullback going up the middle, and then let's try this. And again, he's so tough to bring. You know what, Kevin? I've not seen anybody bring him down yet on the first hit. So you've got to hit and wrap on this guy. He is a tough runner, a powerful runner for the size that he has. McCardle just 5'9", 190 pounds, but very, very strong.
2nd and 8 from the 36. Taking some time. McCardle looks over the play. He'll run the option. McCardle will keep. Flag is down. Look at McCardle. He's not down yet. 4 Knights finally, as Brian Goldsmith gets him down. A flag, though, right in the middle of that play at the 35-yard line. And a hold against Millard North will bring this play back.
McCardle this time heading to the left side. There's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wait,
5.
I want a piece of him too. Wait for me.
5 people trying to bring McCardle down. He just must have tremendously strong hips and the thighs and just total body strength to keep that to keep it going like he did. Kevin, that's incredible. Wow.
Colorado State with Sonny Lubick in charge have been in contact with McCardle, and now Air Force is getting involved. And can you imagine this young man running the offensive attack that Air Force loves to run out of that wishbone? And
just what they need is a fellow like McCardle. Also, Navy also has some interest in him also.
2nd down and 16 from the 44-yard line. McCardle again to the first man through. Behrens is stacked up at the 42-yard line. Number 42, Brian Goldsmith, along with Logan Papik combined on the stop.
Charlie Peterson, the right guard, big right guard, 6 foot tall, 290 pounds senior on the sideline there. Kevin getting his ankle taped up. He's okay now. He's back into the fracas. Their line is huge. Left tackle is 300 pounds. That's Mark Nelson. Right tackle is Seth Olson. He's 300 pounds. And then it gets a little smaller from there. 290, 240, and 250.
And that's a big offensive line. 3rd down and 14. McCardle in trouble. Coming in from behind. There's the pitch. Late pitch to Aaron Flynn. Flynn stopped short of the first down at the 35-yard line. But McCardle again showing unbelievable strength. He had Goldsmith draped all over him and still was able to get the pitch off to Flynn.
Goldsmith, the linebacker, straight up on the blitz, came right at the snap. No doubt about that. And he had him. He just simply had him. But McCardle able to stay up, and not only stay up, but have the presence of mind to pitch the ball, and not only that, pitch it accurately to the pitchman out there, and he goes upfield, and it'll be 4th down though, but Millard North now will have to punt. My goodness, what strength and what concentration by John McCardle.
Moran will punt. James Moran took over after Keith Lloyd was
I'd be watching out here for something else.
Moran will punt it away. Gets off a pretty good kick, angles it towards that corner, and he gets a wonderful hop out of bounds at the 5-yard line. James Moran, a beautiful punt pinning the Knights deep at the 5.
Can't do much better than that. Well done.
We'll get all the inside information on the Huskers after the Colorado game on Big Red Wrap-Up Tuesday, December 3rd, live at 7 p.m. Central Time. It's a complete review of the game with highlights, commentary, discussion, and you as we take your live phone calls and emails. Join Adrian Fiala and me for our next Big Red Wrap-Up Tuesday, December 3rd, right here on NETV, Nebraska's home for sports. 1st and 10 from the 5, and the carry up the middle by Tim Lux, and he muscles his way out to the 9-yard line. Southeast has had pretty poor field position in this first quarter. They've been pinned deep inside their 10 now twice in 3 possessions.
I was just making a note here about positive and negative field position. Exactly that, Kevin, except for the fumbled punt down there. They've been pinned deep to start both times. Not able to capitalize on that fumbled punt down there and deep in Millard North territory, and now they started deep in twice in their own territory.
Missed a 29-yard field goal that would have given them the early lead. 2nd down and 6. Raby rolls right, wants to throw. He's got his man Sand out there for a 1st down at the 21-yard line. Sand well covered, but a good throw from Raby as Jake Galusha brings down the tight end at the 21.
Good action off the snap. Good play action right there. Play action fake. And Sand running that route, a deep crossing route. About a 12-yard crossing route draws plenty of attention. But Sand showing some great hands here, Kevin. The 2 passes that he's received thus far. Look at that football right into the cradle and putting it away and protecting it, and they head upfield.
1.5 remaining in this first quarter. No score. Millard North and Lincoln Southeast, and confusion. A timeout taken by the Southeast Knights. I believe they had 12 men on the field, and that will usually not go over too well with a head coach Chuck Mazurski. Andy Sand has made his presence felt early, Abe, as they have looked to Andy Sand tonight. He's come up with 2 big catches already for the Southeast Knights.
He's been a solid receiver for them all year, Kevin, and showing us why here tonight. Chuck Mazurski, head coach, talked about him when we were down there about an hour and a half ago, and said he's one of the finest football players, an excellent football player, and we'll hear more about him as we move along. But
Larry Putney standing by on the field with a very interested observer in tonight's activities.
Well, guys, I'm down here with current Husker and former Millard North Mustang Judd Davies. We talked to a couple of guys before the game, and they talked about how much they want to win this for Coach Petito. Did you get that sense?
Yeah, you know, Coach Petito's a guy that teaches you about respect, how to be a good person, being competitive, giving it all you got. It's much more than just the winning, and that's why guys support him so much. That's why we all love him so much.
You got the letter jacket on today.
Yeah, I wore my little brother's letter jacket. I'm Millard North all the way.
All right, thanks.
Rude over the left side from the 21 to the 25-yard line, a 4-yard gain. You see that a lot with this Millard North program. Former players and and I would imagine that's the case at a lot of programs across the state. I don't want to single out Millard North, but Millard North has sent a lot of guys to the University of Nebraska, a little high-profile program there at University of Nebraska, and they tend to get a little spotlight for Fred Petito.
Absolutely, Kevin. Of course, the most well-known, Eric Crouch's relationship with Fred Petito was, we see another toss. Woozy-doozy there.
Rude fakes a throw, and nobody was fooled. He tried to fool Chris Reinke, and Reinke didn't buy that for a second.
Bo Rude here. You're going to see it again. Good lead out there. 74. Alan Branning leading the play, and well,
nobody fooled.
Bo just have to keep that one.
Reinke, I don't know if he even looked at the pump fake. Perhaps knew there were no receivers downfield to throw to.
He would say, go ahead and throw it up. I'll pick it off.
3rd down and 8.
He's a ball hawk.
Perhaps the final play of this first quarter. We'll see. 3rd and 8 from the 23. Rude looking for running room. Rude breaks free. He's got the 1st down to the 37-yard line. Talked about balance with McCardle. How about that balance from Bo Rude? Jake Galusha makes the stop.
Balance and power to run through tackles. He did it right there, taking it right over the middle. Brandon Bolin, Alan Branning, Matt Mullen, the middle people as far as blocking goes, and he takes it right up, keeps that balance, and gets the 1st down. That's tough running right there. Probably what you're going to see tonight. Maybe he'll crack one off the edge, 1 or 2 tonight, Kevin. With the way they flow, I'm not sure that's going to happen. Up the middle, maybe is a place to go.
Through 1 quarter, it's lived up to the billing. No score in Class A. Second quarter about to begin. Millard North and Lincoln Southeast on a crystal clear night in Lincoln, Nebraska. 44 degrees, winds out of the south at 12 miles an hour. Watch that humidity, 60% this evening. Humid evening in Lincoln.
Kevin, I don't know about you, but I think I can speak for that shot with the flag and the moon. Holy cow, great. Just absolutely great.
Lux will try to take it up the middle. He'll find very little running room against the middle of that defensive unit. Chris Reinke also in there. Sean O'Connell on the stop for Millard North.
You know, we talked about the size of the offensive line of Millard North. Lincoln Southeast not so bad themselves across the front. Mike Peace 257, Matt Mullen 267, the center Boland 240, Ellen Branding at 250, and Zach Koppel at 269. That's big for an offensive line in high school, but again, Millard North even bigger.
2nd and 9 from the 38. Rude. Now he will throw. Fakes it. And Rude trying to dance away. He does dance away from trouble. How many tackles is he going to break? Look at Rude go down the sideline, and he's just tripped up. Jake Galusha saves. Big problem for Millard North, and Rude danced out of 6 tackles before he got him.
He was going to go ahead and throw it, as you said, and then could not get it off. Coverage there. Watch the block coming up on the right screen here. Number 13. Zach Raby is going to make the block here. Right there. He just got in the way, basically. He hit the guy earlier. The guy was going down and kept the hands up saying, hey, I didn't do anything illegal there. So Raby helping out the run.
Raby under center, 3rd down and 2 from the 45. The give to Rude, trying to find room on the right side, and he should have the 1st down. Lunging that ball forward to the 48-yard line. That'll be a 1st down by about a half yard.
Taking it right over Branning over there on the right side. Branning and Koppel. Zach Koppel, 6'4", 269. He's a junior, and Alan Branning, a senior, is finding a little bit of a crease there to get through and pick up that 1st down.
Bo Rude playing with a cracked vertebrae. That cannot be a pleasant experience. He's got chronic back problems all year, yet he's still rushed for 1,300 yards on the season. Raby to throw. Down the sideline. Burkle is out there. Great speed. Burkle cannot pull it in. On full extension, Burkle cannot bring it into his body, but that speed almost made it a fantastic play.
That's all it is, Kevin. It's speed to the outside. Burkle trying to crank it up and go. And, you know, normally this is a ball I think he's going to catch. He's got the bead right on it. And maybe the arms out just a little bit too quick. Cut his speed down just a little bit there. Sometimes receivers, you just get those arms out a little bit too quick, and that throws your balance off and cuts your speed down. And he'd like to have that back, I'm sure.
2nd down and 10 from the 48-yard line. Raby, the give to Rude. Rude with that initial cut at the line of scrimmage picks up a couple of yards. And again, O'Connell, Sean O'Connell, the leading tackler on the Millard North Mustang defense, is involved again. He came in with 120 tackles, Aid, and he's got 4 or 5 already tonight.
He's a dandy up there. He's going to just take it right to you and smack you, even though you may not want it.
Likely you don't.
He's going to take it to you, no doubt about it, Kevin. He's 210 pounds of power. And again, he'll take it right to you.
3rd down, 7. Burkle and Billy Alexander split out wide to the right side. Raby to throw. Pressure gets away. Raby now in trouble, throws as he's hit, and he's incomplete to Billy Alexander. Raby got popped from behind. Pressure came from that backside, and Raby was fortunate to get rid of that football.
Well, Dave Heidemeyer was over there, linebacker in pursuit. I think he's number 51. We'll see if he comes into the picture here in a moment. Right there, and drilled him right in the back, and the ball just a little bit low and inside there to the receiver. Chuck Mazurski right there to give some instruction to Raby as he came off the field.
Young will punt. Pretty solid punt again. Flynn takes it at the 12-yard line. Flynn dancing around. Flynn just almost breaks free. Davila, I believe, the young man who saved it for Lincoln Southeast. NETV sports coverage of the 2002 Nebraska State High School Football Championships are brought to you in part by Brian LGH, the first name in healthcare. By NPPD, always there when you need us. By Education Quest Foundation, improving access to college through scholarships, community grants, and college planning services. And by ACE, the Public Alliance for Community Energy, your hometown choice for natural gas. First down, McCardle, brought down by Burkle at the 27-yard line. A gain of 3 yards on the play for John McCardle, the quarterback for Millard North.
Simply amazing how quick he is off the football. He takes that snap, that last play right there. Took it, did the reverse spin, headed short side. Took a full hit from Brian Goldsmith on the play, ran out of that, and then picked up about another yard. It's still long, 2nd and 7, but wow. I can see why he's picked up all the yardage. Just tremendous quickness.
2nd and 7, 27-yard line. McCardle keeps it again, tucks it under, and dives forward to the 33.5, 34-yard line. I think he's got the first down for Millard North. And earlier tonight, Fred Petito talked about his quarterback, John McCardle.
He's a system guy. We started him out in about 8th grade, and John's learned the system extremely well. He came into our place with extreme amount of confidence and toughness, and don't let it mask. He's only 5'9". He plays a lot bigger, as you'll see, or maybe you have seen him play. But John's a special player. Everything goes through him, goes to the midline at our place, and he distributes, he carries, he does what he has to do to go ahead and make us successful. And, since he's been starting quarterback, I believe he's 24-1. So we're in pretty good hands with Johnny taking snaps.
24-1, not bad for John McCardle.
Those are real good odds.
Yeah. It's 41 yards rushing tonight for McCardle.
I like the way he plays with it. Just a great sense of urgency and passion and flair and all that sort of thing, Kevin. And again, he's just a tremendous player.
Well, it's obvious he has complete control of this offense. McCardle pitches it off. Flynn down the sideline, and Flynn with a first down for Millard North. At the 46-yard line, another first down for the Mustangs.
And another tackle for Andy Burkle coming up from the safety spot there in support to make the tackle. This young man has a lot of speed also. It's a good thing that he does, because he's been a factor on defense as much as offense for the Knights this year. And watch him here as he takes it right on. Good job there. Great angle. Used the sideline and put it together. He's out there in that left corner now, or right corner, beg your pardon.
46-yard line, first down and 10 for the Millard North Mustangs. No score, second quarter. McCardle trying to just find a little bit of a crease, a little bit of a lane to sneak through, and Tim Lux would not let go of his ankle, and it'll bring up a second down and 10. Just nudged it across that line of scrimmage.
And in that, Kevin, is the premise as far as the wing bone goes. That offensive line is going to go block, sort of zone block one way, zone block the other way, and the quarterback is just looking for that space that you talked about, that crease that you talked about, and then go from there. That time a nice crackback block out there. Logan Papik came back, cracked the backer, and took him out of the play.
2nd and 10 from the 46. McCardle gets tripped, wanted to pitch it, and then got buried by Justin Busboom from up top. Drew Krutak got him around the ankles, and nowhere for McCardle to take it.
Tim Lux also involved here. Underneath it all, there he is. But again, he was thinking about it. He was well advised not to pitch it. He used a good discretion there, made a good decision, because that was way too long to try to successfully complete a pitch.
He came very close. Yeah, very close.
He was thinking.
3rd down and 11 from the 45. Will we see a rare Millard North pass on 3rd and 11? They'll throw out the wide receiver screen to Adam Shada. Shada slips through a tackle, gets through another tackle, and he's going to have a first down. Papik had the chance to get him behind the line, but Shada just ran through it, and then he drug Burkle towards the sticks for the first down.
And as most of their offense is based on speed, so is that play. Quickness. McCardle wastes no time, takes the snap, steps up and fires over there to we call that the hide screen over there. Just a couple of people to block, and then you try to get one of your best broken field runners out in the open. They did that, but you're right, Kevin. Papik had a chance to knock it down and stop the first down. Didn't happen. It is a first down.
1st and 10 for the 44. Behrens goes up the middle for a big gain. 38-yard line of Lincoln Southeast, a pickup of 6. That's what makes this wing bone, I would think, so very difficult to defend, because you never know where that ball's coming from, and it's usually coming at you from some different angle on the ground.
All the time, it really is. And when you have the people, when you have the personnel to run it, when you have the speed and the quickness to run it, makes all the difference in the world. And that's what makes it so difficult to practice for it, because usually, Kevin, on your team, you don't have that kind of speed.
And there isn't anybody in the state, I don't believe, that runs it on a regular basis like Millard North does with that kind of speed. McCardle, he'll keep it, and he runs into a brick wall. Brian Goldsmith. That time McCardle's not powering over anybody. Goldsmith made sure of that.
Check the numbers here very quickly. John McCardle, prior to that carry, 8 carries for 41 yards. The Lincoln Southeast. McCardle's up to 9 for 43 now with that last carry. Lincoln Southeast, Bo Rude has 12 carries on the night for 47 yards. That'd been interesting there. I didn't think that Bo had more yardage than McCardle, but he does.
3rd down and a yard. 35-yard line of Lincoln Southeast. McCardle on the option keep. McCardle hit again very hard by Brian Goldsmith, and I believe short of the 1st down. What a hit from Brian Goldsmith, 2 in a row.
Tough player is Brian Goldsmith. To see him right there, 42, the linebacker spot, and that is just a tremendous hit. And that's what makes McCardle even more astounding, Kevin, is he's taken those kind of shots all year. You know, he carried the ball 54 times against North Platte.
That's one game.
Yeah, that's just mind-boggling. I don't understand that at all. But 54 times, you're going to take some shots. And there he is, still fresh as a daisy and playing great football.
4th down and a yard. Millard North will go from the 35-yard line of Lincoln Southeast. Behrens gets the carry, and I don't think he got it. The Knight defense coming up with a huge stop on 4th down and 1. And the Knights turn away the Mustangs.
Goldsmith, Koppel, and also Jeff Carr in the middle there. One of them made the initial hit, but all of them should get credit for making the stop there, as the ball will go over. And boy, that probably doesn't happen very often to the Millard North offense, especially with the big horses, as we talked about earlier.
Well, Chuck Mazurski before the game told us, I like my defense. We got a pretty good defensive team. And they showed right there. You're right, that does not happen very often to a team that's rushed for over 4,600 yards this year, as has Millard North. 1st and 10 from the 35. Raby, the give to Rude. A little bit of an opening for Rude, and he takes advantage of it to the tune of 4 yards. 2nd and 6 coming up. And another interested observer, especially of Bo Rude's career, Larry Putney, standing by with Barrett Rude.
Thanks, guys, down here on the southeast sideline with Barrett. We just got done talking to Judd a little bit ago. Did you guys go back and forth a little this week?
Yeah, it was pretty funny. We came out to practice day, and me and a couple of guys in Southeast are wearing our night shields, and Judd and Mike McLaughlin and Pat Ricketts taped their helmet up. So there's been a lot of talking going on this week, but you know, it's 2 good teams playing out here, and it's pretty fun to watch.
I'm sure there have. Your younger brother out here playing pretty well right now, Bo, but he's been dinged up a lot this season. He plays through that, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. You know, he's doing a good job, but he's not, you know, in as good a shape as he'd like. He'd like to be out there playing both ways, but you know, he can't practice much with his back right now, and he's doing a pretty good job this year, though.
What do you think he'll play next year when he comes down to Nebraska?
You know, I think probably starting around outside linebacker and see how much he grows. You know, he's pretty tall. He's a little taller than me, about an inch taller, so he may not play and rush in, but he doesn't really care. He wants to just come down and play. You know, he's pretty excited for it.
Sat down here. You said something to him a little bit ago when he was sitting over here on the bench. What'd you say?
I told him to keep going upfield and going into people, and don't fumble like I did it in a 2000 state championship.
All right, thanks very much, Barry. Up to you guys.
Yeah, just because they move on to the big time doesn't mean they forget these state championship games. Those stay with you forever.
Way to the end of the line, I might add. So good advice from Barrett. What a family. Dad played here. Barrett's here now. Brother coming. Uncle Bob Martin played here. Great-great-grandfather Clarence Swanson played here. Wow. Family tree here.
Burkle on the screen. Nothing doing. O'Connell and Matt Davies combine on the stop, and they'll get a half a yard, and that's all on the wide receiver screen. And it brings up a long 3rd down now for the Lincoln Southeast Knights. 3rd and 18 with 2:50 remaining first half.
Once again, excellent pursuit over there by the Millard North defense. Matt Davies showing great speed to get to the flat over there and make the play all the way from his backer spot in the middle.
3rd down and 18. Raby On the delay give to Rude. Rude tripped up in the backfield. Nice play again by Dave Heinemeyer. Just got enough of Rude to keep him from moving forward.
See Heinemeyer right here. Takes on the block. Really takes on the block well, and then just gets a piece. That's incredible that he could bring him down with that sort of action, Kevin. But he did, and just enough to get him off balance and knock him down.
Tony Young sends the punt down to the 30-yard line. Looking for running room is Aaron Flynn, and Flynn finds very little. Great punt coverage by Lincoln Southeast. They'll start at the 38-yard line. Well, be sure to join us tomorrow at 1 o'clock Central Time for the Class C1 championship game as the Bishop Neumann Cavaliers take on the Gothenburg Swedes. We have complete coverage of all the 2002 Nebraska State High School football championship games right here on NETV, Nebraska's home for sports.
Important now, Kevin, for the Southeast defense to contain it here. Don't let anything funny or cute happen on their defense. And, of course, Millard North wants to put one in and maybe change the game momentum.
McCardle on the option. Has a blocker. McCardle gets around the corner, and he's banged out of bounds in midfield. It'll be a first down. Logan Geisler finally got him out at midfield.
Going to the right side, and McCardle, you know what's coming here. Missed tackle there, short there, and then driving him out there, but he picks up that first down. Got out of bounds, stopped the clock. Just what you want to do on the play. 1:47 left.
First and 10. Square at midfield for Millard North. McCardle again on the option. He's got running room. He's got a lot of running room. McCardle trying to run away from Burkle, and he gets tripped up at the 1-yard line. 49.5 yards on the run from McCardle, and only Burkle's play saves the touchdown.
Mark Nelson on the block, offensive tackle Haley over there also. They cleared the way, and then from that point on, it was all McCardle. And again, it's just exactly what the Southeast defense did not want to let happen. Just with the very small amount of time left here in the first half to let Millard North take it down the field. And you got 4 tries from a yard with a team like that. Could be there.
They've brought Bo Rude off the bench. He's in the game defensively to try to come up with a stop. First and goal from the 1. McCardle on the sneak, trying to get it across the plane of the goal. No official word yet.
Do we have a fumble?
Their ball, Knights are saying the ball popped free. The officials are discussing it. Southeast is saying they have it. And they do!
Oh, man.
McCardle coughs it up on the half-yard line, and Southeast recovers in a shocking turn for the Knights.
See if we can get a good shot of it here. There's McCardle trying to get in between the guard and the tackle.
Right there, it pops
up. Yeah, the ball's out, and Bo Rude's the guy to hit him. That's Bo right there.
Recovered, I believe, by Zach Koppel. And the Knights have it snuggled up right against their goal line, but they keep Millard North out. Wow. Raby at the 1.5-yard line will just try to sneak it forward, and the ball pops free from Raby. Millard North saying they have it. The referee will unstack the pile. The Mustangs are saying they recovered the fumble. And they have. Raby coughs it up, and Millard North's in business again.
Been doing this stuff a long time. I don't think I've ever seen this happen before, ever. Holy moly.
At the 4-yard line, first and goal for Millard North.
Well, when Raby took off, that pile was moving and moving. He started at the 1, and he got out there about the 4, and they kept moving and moving. And, you know, a lot of things are going on in that pile when that happens. And Millard North comes up.
Rude back in at linebacker for Lincoln Southeast. McCardle looking for running room. Dives ahead to the 2-yard line. And he is stopped right there. Second and goal coming up for Millard North. Clock continuing to run. 40 seconds remaining in this first half. Millard North has all 3 timeouts. I'm kind of surprised they didn't use one here.
Very surprised.
Time winding down, under 30 seconds remaining in this first half. They've lost a lot of time here. If they don't get it in on this play, have to start using the timeouts. 20 seconds remaining in the half. McCardle on the option, looking for running room, and he is diving into the end zone for the touchdown. McCardle scores on 4th effort, and Millard North takes the lead.
Nothing but motion, perpetual motion. John McCardle, watch this. He sees a crease there. There's a hit. I think that was Goldsmith that hit him there, and then he spun again. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th effort finally puts him in the end zone. And what a turn of events, Kevin, here to end this half. I guess they knew what they were doing by letting that clock run down. I was very surprised to see that, though.
Peterson's try for point, and it is no good. Missed it wide to the left. Only his 3rd missed extra point of the year. And with 14 seconds remaining in this first half of play, it's now Millard North 6 and Lincoln Southeast nothing. How about the last 50 seconds of this first half? Wow.
Turn around, turn about, put it in the end zone, and then missed the point. Incredible turn of events. And again, let's keep in mind that in this point, because in big games like this, that happens.
There's the scoring drive, a short one, 2 plays, 4 yards, but they did use 40 seconds off the clock in punching it in by McCardle. Wednesday night at 7:30 Central Time on NETV. Next Exit wants you to meet a man whose father went to Boys Town instead of prison and was forever changed by the experience. Plus, see how the annual Women's Wilderness Weekend transforms city girls into survivors, and meet a young woman who was changed emotionally, physically, and spiritually by a terrible accident. Don't miss Next Exit next Wednesday night at 7:30 Central Time on NETV. Kickoff time for Millard North. Robbie Knight will boot it. Burkle, the deep man, for Southeast. And the squib kick, it is just covered up by Jeff Carr of Lincoln Southeast at the 39-yard line. So the Knights with 13 seconds remaining, if they so choose to move it downfield very quickly.
Kevin, when you have a quarterback that can throw it like Raby and also a receiver with the tremendous speed that Andy Burkle has, let's go for it. Let's try to get one up and get it in the end zone and see what happens here.
That's what having Burkle deep on your kick return does to teams, too. They try to keep him from breaking a big play at the end of the half, and you may give him an opportunity to break a big play here. 38-yard line, 1st down and 10. Raby will throw. Airs it out for Burkle on the far side, and it is overthrown. Coverage on the play by Luke Christensen, and with 7 seconds left, Lincoln Southeast will have one more shot trying to hit Burkle on the fly.
And here is where conditioning obviously becomes a factor. Burkle on the field a lot. Now you're going to bring him back into the huddle. He just ran a long route right there, full speed towards the zone, towards that deep corner. And now you're going to try to do it again. And after he's played offense, defense, and return kicks, and all he's done today, again, conditioning a huge factor.
2nd and 10 from the 38. And the give to Rude over on the right side. And Rude is brought down at the 42-yard line by Balin Bergman. And that'll end the first half of play at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. What a half of football it has been in the Class A state championship. Millard North with a 6-0 lead into the locker room at halftime over the Lincoln Southeast Knights. It has been all that we expected it to be here in Class A tonight, Abe.
Tough battle, a lot of great hitting, some strange turns of events out there, Kevin. And again, there's Larry Putney's on the sideline. Larry?
Coach, you had an opportunity there to run it out, and then with the turnover down there, really costly.
What now? I didn't hear you.
You had a chance to run out the clock down there, and that turnover really costly there right before the half.
Yeah, it costs us. You can't fumble on the 1-yard line. Hell yes, it costs us.
Momentum going into the half.
Well, half's over. We got to score to win anyway, and we're only behind by 6.
What do you say to the guys at half?
Well, let's win the ball game. We're only down by 6.
All right, thanks, Coach.
You bet.
Chuck Mazurski takes his team into the locker room, trailing by 6. It's halftime of the Class A state championship game on NETV Sports. A thrilling finish in the first half Here in the Class A State High School Football Championship, Millard North with a 6-0 lead here at halftime over Lincoln Southeast. Along with Adrian Fiala, Larry Putney, and our entire Nebraska ETV sports production crew, I'm Kevin Kugler. You're watching the varsity cheerleaders from the Millard North Mustangs perform here at halftime at Memorial Stadium here in Lincoln. Nebraska home on Saturdays, but not this weekend, as it's the home of the Nebraska State High School Football Championships all weekend long. And Lincoln Southeast and Millard North Aid, we talked about the hype this one got since August. Everybody expected this to be the matchup in Class A. They didn't play in the regular season or the playoffs until right now, and obviously through the first half, I think you'd have to say it's lived up to all the expectations.
Really, we were talking 1 and 2 at the top of the show, Kevin. Millard North rated number 1, Lincoln Southeast number 2. Again, the polls right for a change in this case, and these two teams battling very, very tough. Lincoln Southeast had an opportunity, a golden opportunity early in the ball game. Millard North fumbled a punt at the 18-yard line. They recovered it. Southeast recovered it. Not able to get in the end zone. Not only that, they couldn't convert the field goal, so they missed a great scoring opportunity right there. And then again, they dodged a bullet a couple of times prior or beyond that. And then finally, Millard North gets the football with about a minute and 50-some seconds left. And they take it right down the field. That exchange down there as far as fumbles go. And wow, I mentioned at the time, Kevin, I don't know if you've ever seen that happen. I've not seen that happen, where you fumble it a couple of times inside the 5. And then Millard North capitalizes and scores a touchdown. So Chuck Mazurski was extremely, well, he was right on in terms, hey, you got to score anyway. You got to score a touchdown to win the game or a field goal. So let's come out and get it done. They're only behind 6 points.
Now that missed extra point could prove costly later on down the line for Millard North, because those tend to come back and get you, especially in tight games. And you just get the feeling nobody's going to blow anybody out in this game. If it's a win for Southeast, it's obviously going to take more than 6 points. But a 10-6 win perhaps for Southeast, or for Millard North, perhaps 13-6, 13-10, somewhere around there. You get a feeling this one's coming down to the wire. And we really haven't had any blowouts at all in our state championship games at this point.
No, they've all been very good football games, defensive football games. We've talked a lot about defense here the last day and a half, Kevin. Talking about more defense here tonight. But I'm so impressed with John McCardle, this young man. So quick, so strong, such good vision on the field. And again, I watched Eric Crouch, quarterback at Millard North years ago, and I thought, man, nobody can do it as well as this young man. He had that uncanny ability to see the field and know where everybody was. McCardle has a lot of that same tendency. So as Fred Petito said earlier this week, Eric probably a little faster than McCardle, which is surprising after seeing what he has down there now as far as speed goes. But McCardle a little more powerful than Eric Crouch. So you can see why this young man has over 2,100 yards, that is, rushing the football and 30 touchdowns.
Lincoln Southeast marching band making its way out onto the field. We're going to listen into the show in just a moment as they take the field and get a chance to hear one of the great marching bands in this state of Nebraska, the Lincoln Southeast Marching Band, getting ready to perform here at halftime at Memorial Stadium. Lincoln Southeast trailing by 6 to Millard North. Fumbles on successive plays, one by McCardle at the 1-foot line, and then on the very next play, Raby, the quarterback for Lincoln Southeast, fumbles on a sneak ahead, just trying to get the Knights a little yardage and get him out of the end zone, and he fumbles it back. 2 plays later, McCardle atones for his fumble earlier, takes it in, and right now with a 6-0 lead on the scoreboard for the Millard North Mustangs over Lincoln Southeast. 2 more championships tomorrow in C1 and in B. 1 o'clock and 7:30 kickoffs respectively for those 2 games. And of course, you're going to see them right here on Nebraska ETV. It's your home for sports, and it's your home for Nebraska State High School Football Championship games, all 6 right here on the turf at Memorial Stadium. Let's listen in now to the Lincoln Southeast Marching Band. The Lincoln Southeast Marching Band performing here at halftime at Memorial Stadium, where Millard North leads Lincoln Southeast 6-0 in the Class A State High School Football Championship. 110 rushing yards for Lincoln Southeast, 110 total yards for Lincoln Southeast, 150 total yards for Millard North. That is all rushing yardage for Millard North.
Exactly, Kevin. And John McCardle, 15 carries for 108 yards and a touchdown. So he has stepped it up right there as the Southeast Band continues to perform out there on the field.
Getting set up for another song, and they will face their home stands for this one as they want to perform for the fans packed in on that far side, far for us from where we are on the west side of the stadium, the east side of the stadium. We'll get to hear, along with you, the dulcet tones of the Lincoln Southeast Marching Band. And let's listen in again to the band as they perform here at halftime. Lincoln Southeast Band playing to their fans on the home side for Lincoln Southeast here at Memorial Stadium. We're at halftime, the Class A State Championship. Millard North with a 6-0 lead.
Really big turnover there in the first half. Gave you momentum going into the halftime. Talk about what that did for your team.
Well, you know, we got it down there, and we unfortunately put it on the ground, got it back. Well, that's big momentum. Yeah, that's good. You know, scores are coming by tough tonight.
What did you say to the kids at half?
Well, we just said to keep playing hard, keep playing smart, keep things in the pen. We'll start punching things out, and we feel pretty good about it.
Have you been pleased with the way you're doing against their offense?
Well, yeah. I mean, we got to shore up a little tackling and things like that. But they're a talented team. They're going to make you miss once in a while. You got a D1 guy, and hey, that's part of the game.
Fred, thanks very much.
You bet.
Fred Petito, the head coach of the Millard North Mustangs. They lead it 6-0 here as we get ready to start the second half. Highlights of the first half. Raby throwing a long pass to the tight end, Sand, and that got Lincoln Southeast going early in that first quarter. And this young man got Millard North going all through that first half. Over 100 yards rushing in the first half,
108 yards to be specific right there, Kevin. And we saw a glimpse right there again why he is so good. Now Zach Raby trying to find some throwing room back there, but not able to do that. Sacked in the backfield.
Raby again trying to go along and headed for Andy Burkle. Just off the fingertips.
Just off the tips, and Andy'd like to have that one back. This is McCardle again, and he is off to the races here.
And it's Andy the speed of Burkle.
Yeah, Andy Burkle on the pursuit right there, and just brings him down at the 1 yard line. And this is the touchdown by McCardle.
And on the stats, you see all rushing yards for Millard North. Lincoln Southeast a little more balanced, 110 yards for them, but it's been a defensive struggle again for both teams in this first half, and we're ready to get the second half underway. And I know these teams are ready to get going as well.
Kevin, that showed right there 3 turnovers by Millard North, 1 turnover by Lincoln Southeast. They're +2, Southeast +2, but not able to capitalize on it. Millard North did.
Kickoff from Travis Bornemeyer, and it's taken by Aaron Flynn with running room for a moment, and Flynn out to the 26-yard line where Millard North will start. First down and 10 yards to go. So Millard North on offense first. They won the flip, deferred to the second half, and now they'll try to get this offense rolling again. Had a couple of big plays in that first half, but as Adrian mentioned, the turnovers really costly for Millard North. 26-yard line, first down and 10. McCardle, he'll keep it on the option, and McCardle lunging ahead to the 27-yard line, and that's all. Not a lot of running room there, and Southeast did a nice job of stringing that play along the line.
And the middle linebacker that time, Brian Goldsmith, again keeping his eyes peeled exactly on McCardle, following him everywhere he is going. You saw a lot of that in the first half. Continues here in the second half. A 5-man front again for Lincoln Southeast. 3 linebackers all up there, about 8-man front showing against that big Millard North line. 2nd and 9, 27-yard line. McCardle keeping again on the option, and he's brought down from behind. There's Goldsmith again. Brian Goldsmith has been right on top of McCardle most of the night. You suppose he's spying on McCardle? Could very well be, Kevin, because he's reading that action. He's not running himself out of plays. He's not going the other way. He's not taking the fake. He's staying right with McCardle wherever he goes. So perhaps he is. So keep our eye on that again here as we move along.
Goldsmith has had a lot of tackles, most of which are wrapping up John McCardle on an option run. 3rd and 7 from the 29. McCardle going the opposite direction this time. Ducks it out. McCardle sheds 1 tackle, but he cannot get away as Lux grabbed him around the jersey and brings him down 3 yards shy of a first down, and it'll be punt time for the Mustangs.
Once again, Southeast has an opportunity here. Jeff Carr, number 8, just can't get to him. This kid is just elusive. It's so tough to bring down, but they finally do get him just short of the first down. A couple of yards short of that first down, make it 3 yards short of the first down. So our first punt here in the second half.
James Moran, the punter. Double safeties back for Lincoln Southeast. And they'll angle kick it, trying to kick it away from the return, especially they don't want it in the hands of Burkle. And it's out of bounds to the 41, and that's where Lincoln Southeast will have it. First down and 10 yards to go from there. NETV sports coverage of the 2002 Nebraska State High School Football Championships are brought to you in part by Education Quest Foundation, improving access to college through scholarships, community grants, and college planning services. By Brian LGH, the first name in healthcare. And by NPPD, always there when you need us. From the 41-yard line, first down and 10. Rude in motion out of the backfield. Raby to throw. Look in Rude's direction. He's got it down the sideline. Rude to the 20. 1 man to beat for the score, and he'll do it. Touchdown, Lincoln Southeast. First play, and it goes 59 yards for the score.
Isolated on the linebacker, Ballon Bergman here. And Rude just ran right by him, number 24. You see him right there, about 3-4 yards behind him. And Rude's got great speed, Kevin. He accelerates. Chuck Mazurski talked about that acceleration. And we see it right there. Rude came in motion, got a little bit of a head start there, and just took it right on down the field and right past the linebacker. It's very tough for the linebacker most of the time to cover that back out of the field, especially when he's got a head start, Kevin, and that created that touchdown pass.
And the missed extra point on the Millard North side is now costly because Southeast hits the extra point, and the Knights now lead 7-6 with 9:49 to play in the third quarter. 59 yards from Raby to Rude through the air, and Bo Rude in 3 seconds scores the first touchdown of the night for Southeast.
Kevin, on the year, Bo Rude just caught 2 passes for 59 yards. He had one of those for a touchdown, though, so he equals that mark right here with 1 reception and a touchdown in the biggest football game of his high school career right here, and showing good hands, good speed to get on by and make the grab and head for the zone.
Travis Bornemeyer will kick it off for Lincoln Southeast. Bornemeyer ready to approach it at the 40-yard line. 7-6, Knights lead it. And Bornemeyer's kick taken by Flynn at the 2. Straight up the middle of the field. Flynn gets a block, spins away. Flynn down at the 31-yard line. Tackle made there by Drew Krutak And Flynn with a good return on that kickoff for Millard North.
Take it right short of the end zone right there, and they'll get it upfield. He's had an average this year on kickoff returns of 23 yards. He takes this one, Kevin, out across the 30. As you said, I think about to the 31 right there. Just good, tough running, good speed. Pretty much on his own on that play.
For the first time tonight, Millard North trailing 7-6. 9:42 to play third quarter. First man through gets it. It's Behrens. And he'll take it out to the 33-yard line. A gain of 2 yards for Jake Behrens, the fullback. And it'll bring up second down and 8.
And once again, Brian Goldsmith there to make the tackle. At 66 on the year. He might have that many tonight, the way he's going. He and Lux over there, Tim Lux, combining to make that tackle. Goldsmith, the initial hit. Lux in to help with an assist.
7-6 Lincoln Southeast. John McCardle leads the Millard North offense to the line. Second down and 8, 33-yard line. McCardle will option, and he'll go nowhere. Again, penetration by Jeff Carr this time, the senior linebacker who had 72 tackles on the season, gets into the backfield and brings down McCardle.
Carr came in there right. Watch him here, number 8, unblocked. Good quickness there. He contained the play, kept it inside. I imagine Goldsmith was underneath all of that somewhere also, Kevin, but Jeff Carr right there, instrumental on that play.
Third down, 7, 34-yard line. 7-6 Southeast leading, and Millard North facing third and long again. McCardle gives it off on the reverse and fumble on the play. Southeast is going to have it at the 37-yard line. Jake Galusha coughs it up. Recovered on the play by Tim Lux.
Brian Goldsmith there on the hit. Let's take a good close look here and see if he is the one that indeed caused the fumble. Here comes Galusha. Lux right there, and it is Goldsmith that causes the fumble, and I think Galusha, or check it, Luck recovers it. Well, or did he? That's 84 right there, Andy Sand. They both got a piece of the football. So Lincoln Southeast, Kevin, capitalizing here early in the third quarter on miscues by Millard North.
Fourth Mustang turnover of the night. 36-yard line of Millard North. First down and 10. Raby to throw. Looking over the middle, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Adam Shada for Millard North. And for the second time tonight, Lincoln Southeast turns it right back over to Millard North one play after they get the turnover.
Just consecutive turnovers. Hard to believe these things can happen in football, but they indeed are right before our very eyes as Raby winds it up here. And the coverage there was provided by number 7, Reiki. Close call right there, Kevin, in terms of whether or not that might have been interference.
First and 10 from the 15. Millard North needs somebody else on the field. They run him on late in Cam Taylor. And it'll be a minimal gain from the 15 to the 17-yard line. It was Tadvar who came on late. And Millard North gets a short gain again. Lincoln Southeast really clogging up that middle here in the early third quarter.
Bringing those tackles down. Linebacker, as we talked about earlier, Goldsmith really keeping his eye right on the quarterback, John McCardle. But also linebacker Tim Lux being very effective from his defensive end spot.
Second and 8 from the 17. McCardle on the toss to Flynn. Flynn trying to find running room. There's not much there. Look at all the black and gold of Lincoln Southeast collapsing on top of Flynn. There were 6 guys on top of Flynn, and Goldsmith finds himself again at the bottom of the pile.
The only guy that wasn't part of the whole deal over there was Andy Burkle. That's because he plays the right corner over there. And he had a long ways to go. But watch it here as those tackles slant to the left. And there's a great job. You saw right there in front Logan Geisler, 81, just staying at home, playing the contain, making sure that play stays inside. Great job by Geisler.
Southeast really swarming to the football here in this third quarter. Third down and 5, 20-yard line. McCardle on the option. Trying to find some running room. A flag is down. McCardle has the first at the 27-yard line, but let's check the flag. Thrown in the direction of an illegal block or a hold.
Goldsmith again on the tackle, and he popped McCardle really well that time. Hard hit by Brian Goldsmith, but McCardle takes it and pops right back up. Tough kid that he is.
It is a hold against Millard North, though, and so that'll push them back into the hole and create a 3rd down and long for a Millard North offense that has done it all on the ground. No passing yardage tonight. 169 yards on the ground for the Mustangs.
They did try one pass. Give them credit for that.
In the very early stages of this game, if I recall correctly.
Absolutely, very early in that first quarter. But again, we have to be mindful, Kevin, as we talked about when we began tonight. They lull you to sleep with that running game, and then all of a sudden they'll pop a pass on you. They've only completed 14, as we said earlier, but 8 of those have gone for a touchdown.
3rd down and 16 back at the Millard North 9. McCardle keeps on the option. Look at him shed tackles. McCardle, by all rights, should have been stopped back at the 9-yard line. Flag comes in late at the end of the play after McCardle stopped at the 18. And it'll be a face mask against Lincoln Southeast.
When it comes in late like that on a play like that, usually you can bet it's coming against the defense, and indeed it has. Inadvertent, it looks like, Kevin. Did they mark it off here?
Yep, it'll be 3rd down again, though, and that's the benefit. You get the play and the yardage and the down over. So 3rd down instead of 3rd and 16. How about 3rd and 2? Chuck Mazurski wants a clarification from the officials. They will give it to him. Play is stopped for a moment as they sort things out. And Coach Mazurski is going to find out exactly what's going on. Fred Petito likes what he sees here on 3rd and 2 instead of 3rd and 16. Much more favorable odds. On 3rd and 2, McCardle. Little screen set up. It's a 1st down. Adam Shada to the 28-yard line. 1st and 10, Millard North.
Second time we've seen that play tonight. Again, that little hide screen over there to the left. Happens quick. And Carr over there to make the tackle. Carr, the leading tackler on this Southeast team, coming into the ballgame tonight. 72 tackles, also picked off 4 passes. And he's over there to make that tackle, but not until after he picks up the 1st down. So McCardle and Millard North, a new life here.
On the 28, 1st down and 10. Right up the middle goes Behrens, and right down to the turf goes Behrens in the arms of Justin Buzzboom. Gain of a half yard, maybe, for Jake Behrens, as that interior line. Tim Lux also in there on the tackle for Lincoln Southeast. Play coming in from the sideline. Matt Van Hoos brings it in. 2nd down and 9. 29-yard line. 5 minutes remain 3rd quarter. Lincoln Southeast by 1, 7-6. McCardle right up the middle. And McCardle with a pickup of 3.5 yards out to the 32-yard line. And a 3rd down and 5 for Millard North.
Good to see the family here, McCardle's family. We saw the sign down there. Ponca, Nebraska. We saw them earlier on coming into the ballpark. Good support for that young man, John McCardle. Look at that. 22 carries, 133 yards, and counting.
Yeah, that will rise.
Yeah,
the carries will rise. The yardage will rise.
It is amazing they're having such success as they do, Kevin, because they just continually, such confidence in their offense to run it like they do. Normally a team runs it like that, you get stopped quite often, but this team extra special in that regard.
76 carries from McCardle in his last 6.5 quarters. Here's another carry from McCardle on 3rd down and 5. He breaks free. McCardle cannot go down until he has the 1st at the 43-yard line. That is just great individual effort from a very impressive young man.
Watch the first part of the play here. He's going to be hit. Somebody's going to have a hold of him. I think it's Goldsmith, and he just hops along until he pulls away. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4 tacklers hit John McCardle.
Oh, I'm so impressed with this kid and the way he runs the football.
Just incredible. You know, what if he's runs that way and he's about 6'3" and about 215? But he's doing so well right now.
Give up the middle to Behrens, and there's Goldsmith right on top of him for about a half-yard gain is all. McCardle were about 6'3" and 215 pounds. The north and south end zones would be filled with college scouts in here to watch this game. Recruiters would be pounding down the door. You look at him knowing his size doesn't seem to matter at this point.
No, not at all. And you just hope, Kevin, he has that opportunity to go. We talked earlier on Colorado State looking at him, Air Force, Navy. And I hope the word will get out about John McCardle because he certainly has great ability, and you want to see that great ability continue on into college, get that education as we set it up one more time.
2nd and 10 from the 43. There's McCardle, gets away from one man again, but he cannot get away from 4 at a time. And the Southeast Knights swarm him under. Drew Krutek, the first man to get him. Teammates then piled on to help out. And a gain of just 2 for McCardle.
Jeff Carr that time, the linebacker, fired in from the left side. He was the first man across, but he missed him. Not an unusual sight tonight to miss John McCardle on that first hit. There he is, Jeff Carr, leading tackler on the squad for Lincoln Southeast. Long 3rd down here, though, Kevin. The big play.
And McCardle has got to be a strong young man to take the kind of beating he takes week after week. 3rd down and 8. Fake the screen. Now they're going to throw down the sideline. Galusha is out there, and it's almost intercepted. Logan Papik had it, and give Galusha credit. He became a DB and knocked it away from Papik.
That's what you got to do. Roles reverse on that kind of play. The offensive player becomes a defensive back and vice versa with the DB. And this was a great, I just love the concept on this here. They were trying to run, they faked that hide screen we talked about, Kevin, over there on the left side. Fake that and then let Galusha go upfield. And he was wide open there. The ball a little bit underthrown and almost intercepted, but it will bring up a punt by Millard North. But what a play. Great concept. Well done, except for just the underthrow part of it.
Moran will punt. Burkle with a chance to return at the 25, and good coverage by Millard North. Brought down at the 27-yard line. Tackle made by Cam Tajvar and also Sean O'Connell. It's football the way you remember it. Husker football with names like Remington, Frazier, Fryer, and of course Osborne. See highlights of Coach Osborne's 255 wins in 25 years in Husker Century 3 only on NETV. Thrilled to the glory of conference championships, national titles, and games that took your breath away. Husker Century, Tuesday, December 3rd at 8 Central Time only on NETV. 1st down carry for Rude. And Rude picks up a couple from the 27. Well, maybe just 1 yard out to the 28-yard line as Rude got a rude hit from Millard North.
Southeast going to pull the onside guard and the backside guard, try to lead this play up around there. But again, I think it was Heinemeyer, 51, that stepped in and made the tackle. And he also ran into Seth Olson. And you don't want to do this too often because Seth Olson is 6'5" and weighs 300 pounds. You want to avoid people like that, especially at full speed.
Well, if you run into him, you at least remember that you ran into something.
If you're still awake.
2nd and 9, that's true. Raby to throw. Fires it out. Burkle drops it at the 30-yard line. Not a huge drop by Burkle because if he pulls it in, he's not moving very far.
Not going anywhere, quite frankly. He had 2 people over there actually ready to make the hit. He had the pressure on the reception and then another Millard North player coming over. Interesting, though, as we get down to about 3 full quarters of football, that Andy Burkle has yet to catch a pass, Kevin, and that's very unusual. As this season has progressed, he has received 31 passes. His players ready.
3rd down and 9 from the 28-yard line. Raby with a play fake. Here comes pressure. They set up the screen to Rude. Rude trying to find a hole to run through, and he won't get there. Matt Davies among the Millard North Mustangs who shut it down, and it'll bring up 4th down and 3 for Southeast.
Play had some potential, but again, Millard North pursuit able to shut it down as Bo Rude looking for some running room there. But again, that backside pursuit, that defensive line and backers that were going so hard towards the quarterback just turned around and got back on pursuit.
Pressure coming on the punt, gets it away. Taken at the 30-yard line by Flynn. At the 40. Flynn in the arms of Burkle. And Jeff Carr goes down at the 45-yard line. Be sure to join us tomorrow at 1 o'clock Central Time for the Class C1 championship game as the Bishop Neumann Cavaliers take on the Gothenburg Swedes. We have complete coverage of all the 2002 Nebraska State High School football championship games right here on NETV, Nebraska's home for sports. 45-yard line, first down and 10 for Millard North. Trailing by just one with 1:02 remaining in the third quarter. McCardle keeping again, working his way upfield at midfield, and McCardle dragging Jeff Carr 3 yards to the 47-yard line of Lincoln Southeast.
You know, Kevin, when I watch him run, for some strange reason, it reminds me of a blacksmith just beating on the iron, beating on the iron. Because that's what he's doing. I mean, he's just beating on the defense time after time after time. Unbelievable. 25 carries, 142 yards. For those of you who don't remember what a blacksmith is,
you've been shoeing a horse lately?
Yeah, actually down south of town here a couple of weeks ago.
Second and 2 for the 47, and nothing doing for Barons as he'll lose a yard back to the 48-yard line. Good push up front by Lincoln Southeast. Some of the things you do in your free time strike me as very odd.
But my friend, you knew what a blacksmith was.
I did know. I did know. I've got a University of Nebraska education. I know what I'm talking about with blacksmiths.
We had one back in Brainerd when I was growing up. He used to put the nails in his mouth, and I was always afraid he was going to swallow one of those things.
Wouldn't be pleasant. End of the third quarter in Lincoln. Lincoln Southeast leading by 1. Along with Adrian Fiala, Larry Putney, and our entire Nebraska ETV sports production crew, Kevin Kugler back with you at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska. 7-6 as we head to the fourth quarter in the Class A State High School Football Championship. 12 minutes left in regulation to crown a champion. Third down and 3 from the 48-yard line. McCardle will keep. McCardle sheds a tackle, and he has the first down. Jeff Carr had him stopped short, but as we've seen so many times tonight, it takes more than one hit to bring down John McCardle.
Usually don't get him on that first one.
Let's go downstairs to Larry Putney.
Guys, Bo Ruud standing here on the sideline. Mark Mumford, one of the assistants, former Nebraska linebacker, one of the assistants at Southeast, looked at Bo, said, hey, fourth quarter state championship, you ready to play some defense? Bo said, you bet. Put on a helmet. He's in there now.
There he is. Bo Ruud not going to keep him out of this game. Laying it all on the line. Very, very sore back. Some shoulder issues as well. He needs some time to heal after this season. McCardle on 1st and 10 from the 43. Oh, what a hit. He got waylaid by Brian Goldsmith, the hardest hit of the night leveled on John McCardle.
Just like running into a bridge piling right there. Goldsmith on that hit. Watch this here. McCardle splits 2 players there and then gets straightened right up. A driving tackle by Goldsmith. It'll be interesting to see just how many he has tonight. Hopefully we'll have that number before we go off. But Brian Goldsmith, tough middle backer, doing a great job.
Well, he just hat to hat and drilled him to the turf, and McCardle bounced right back up. 2nd and 11 from the 44 of Lincoln Southeast. Flynn, I should say. Flynn over the right side. He's down to the 40-yard line. Again, Goldsmith on the tackle. Came over there, lost his hat in the process.
And also Logan Geisler in on that tackle, number 81, out of his defensive position over there. He moves around quite a bit on that defensive side. There he is right there, the senior.
So a 3rd down and 7 here for Millard North. Not in any kind of field goal range. Well, maybe a 57-yard field goal, but not a realistic field goal range. McCardle throws, tipped at the line. And jumping up to get it for Lincoln Southeast, it was Alan Branting who tipped it for the Knights.
And good thing that he did, because the go route was open there on the right side. Wide receiver on the right side for Millard North, streaking down right at the hash mark side there. You see it. And again, Branting knocks it down. They're going to kick a field goal, Kevin, as we talked to Fred Petito earlier on. He said we've got to get it inside the 30-yard line for sure before we have to kick it from the 30 or inside the 30.
4th down and 7. Punt time for Moran. trying to angle. He got it out of bounds inside the 5 one time tonight. This time, though, the bounce takes it into the end zone for the touchback, and the Knights will start 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. Well, if you'd like a copy of the high school football game you're watching right now, of any of the games in this 2002 championship, heck, even any of last year's games in the 2001 State High School Football Championships, it's very easy to do. Just log on to net.unl.edu and click on the sports link that's on the internet. Or if you don't want to use the computer, we make it easy for you on the phone, 800-228-4630. Any tape you need, we've got it for you. Any TV is Nebraska's home for sports. From the 20-yard line, 1st and 10, Southeast leading by a point. Rude sweeping over that right side, following the block of Matt Mullen. And he picks up 4 yards on the play. Matt Davies on the stop. Flag is down at the 24, and it'll be a face mask against the Mustangs of Millard North.
Lincoln Southeast at this point in the ball game looking to maintain possession and burn clock. You'll see it again here as Matt Mullen's going to lead, come out and lead. There's Tim Lux, also number 40, out of that fullback spot. A good block on the Millard North defender, and then Mullen right behind him coming on. Rude, a good gain up inside there, and then a face mask penalty to go with it.
So it brings up a 1st and 1 after the penalty. 1st down and 1 for Lincoln Southeast. Raby right up the middle. They give it to Tim Lux, and the fullback rumbles to the 34-yard line. 1st down. Tackled by T.J. O'Leary and Rob Fair for Millard North.
Chuck Mazurski always pacing that sideline, always trying to be ahead about 2 or 3 plays. There he is.
From the 34, 1st down and 10. Raby milking as much clock as they can to give over to Rude. Rude coming back, gets a block from his quarterback. Rude showing some speed. Can he get the corner? He does. Rude now upfield. He's got a 1st down and more out near midfield. Bo Rude turns nothing into something big, and a 1st down for the Husker recruit.
Watch this here. Usually this sort of play turns into disaster, but Bo Rude has enough speed to get out to the corner. You've got 3 or 4 white shirts right there. You see number 3, Matt Van Hoos, trying to make the tackle. 49 is reaching out. That's Matt Davies. And then a good cut here. And he gets out of bounds and picks up that 1st down. But usually, Kevin, that kind of play, you're done back there. Bo Rude made it work.
From the 49, again, the give up the middle to the fullback, Lux. And a little extra lunge. Lux into Millard North territory near the 45-yard line. Good carry on 1st down for Southeast as the clock slips under 9 minutes to play here in the 4th quarter. And that missed extra point really starting to loom large in this football game.
As we discussed earlier on, always in big games it seems to have that impact. And we'll see as it winds down here as Southeast 2nd and about 4 here.
45-yard line of Millard North. Raby gives it right up the middle. This time the carry on the play by number 36, Drew Burson. And Burson has another 1st down inside the 40. The ball popped out, but it was down. And it'll belong to Lincoln Southeast with a 1st.
Zone blocking up front, taking it right over Branding and Koppel on the right side. And Burson just will not be denied. He had 2 or 3 white shirts hanging on to him. He picks up that 1st down. Burson, just a junior, 5'5", and 166 pounds.
1st down and 10 from the 39. Right up the middle, they work it again to Tim Lux. And Southeast getting pretty basic here in the 4th quarter, not getting fancy with a lead in the 4th of the state title game.
Absolutely, Kevin. Just trying to play ball control their effort here in terms of hanging on to the football, no fumbles. You saw Fred Petito there looking up at the clock. Clock is a factor now.
From the 37, 2nd down and 8. Out of the eye again, this time to Rude over the right side of that offensive line. And he gets a couple over the 35 down to the 34-yard line. That'll leave him a long 4 from a 1st. A short 5, long 4 for Lincoln Southeast with a 1-point lead and 7.5 minutes to play.
Good initial charge on last time. Seth Olson and Matt Davies. That whole defensive line for Millard North. Excellent first move off the snap. They just beat the Southeast line to the mark there and shut the play down.
3rd down and 5 from the 34. Millard North crowding the line. The toss to Rude. Trying for the corner. Got a great block. Rude tripped up right near the sticks. Jake Galusha and Sean O'Connell were both out there, and it's going to be very close to a Southeast first down.
I think that was Luck out there. Tim Lux actually that made that block out there in the flat area, Kevin. And get Mike Peace, Matt Mullen over here. Let's double check that to be sure they are indeed the ones in the ball game. Indeed, Peace and Mullen in the ball game on that left side. And they sealed it off for Rude, and then Lux provided that block out in the flat, and Rude was able to pick up that first down.
Larry Putney standing by down on the field with the quarterback at the start of the year for Lincoln Southeast, Nick Baugh.
Well, that's exactly right, Kevin. In fact, Nick, you were injured in the Creighton game, hurt your shoulder, had surgery. How difficult is that to stand here on the state championship sideline?
Oh, it's really hard. You know, I played with all these guys all my life, and a lot of them are really close friends. And, you know, it's tough to have to sit back, you know, quite possibly the biggest night of all of our lives, and have to watch from the sidelines and not be a part of it. But, you know, if we get the win, I'm a happy guy, and that's all that matters.
You must like what you're seeing right now. I mean, you guys are putting together a nice drive here with the 1-point lead.
Yeah, you know, at halftime we really buckled down and, you know, had to dig deep, find that fire inside of us, and I think we did. You know, Bo, he's a great player. He made a great play, and you know, that's kind of been the turn of events right now, and Bo's really rolling right now.
Nick, thanks very much.
Yeah, no problem.
He's a Division I basketball recruit, guys.
Got to get that shoulder fixed for basketball, and he did, and good for him, and we look for big things from Nick Baugh in the future. 2nd and 5 from the 24-yard line. Raby on the toss. Rude. That little fake toss again, and he is brought down, tackled by Dave Heinemeyer, who came from behind to get him a yard shy of a first down, but Rude continuing to power it forward for Lincoln Southeast.
Powered forward. They continue to burn clock as, again, that little dipsy-do move there. Attempted at a fake pass, but doesn't work. He gets up inside, but picks up that ever-important. Well, no, he didn't. He's just short of it, Kevin. 3rd down.
9,828 on hand here tonight for the Class A state championship game. Good crowd indeed. 3rd down and 1 from the 20. Lux gets the carry, bounces off a tackler, and he's going to have the first down. I think that was Matt Davies that popped him right at the line of scrimmage, and Lux bounced away and got the first.
It was, Kevin, and again, good reaction by Lux, the fullback. Plays a good linebacker spot, and also the fullback spot, and blocking principally for Barrett Rude, check it, Bo Rude on the season, but that time bounced out of there and picked up a ever-important first down.
From the 18-yard line, 1st down and 10. Raby milking some clock on the toss, looking for some running room over that right side. Drew Burson down near the 15-yard line, picks up about 3 on the carry.
Matt Davies right there, coming in from the backside. He's got some speed and some quickness and strength to make that play and shut it down for very little gain.
Millard North going to need a defensive stop here. Lincoln Southeast on the move. 2nd down and 8 from the 16-yard line. Raby under center. Wants to throw. Rolling to the right side. Now he'll keep it, and he's shoved out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Chris Reinke knocks him out at the 13, and that stops the clock.
Play action fake here. Millard North did not bite on it, so Raby going to try to just make whatever he can on the play. Get upfield. Would like to stay inbounds to keep that clock running, but not able to do that. Momentum took him out of bounds.
3rd down 4. From the Millard North 12. Impressive drive put together by Lincoln Southeast. The 14th play of the drive right here on 3rd and 4. Rude with the carry. Rude in trouble, and he's down in the backfield. Dave Heinemeyer grabbed hold of the ankle and would not let go, and he throws Rude and the Knights for a big loss.
Great reaction by the Millard North defense this time to be a counter play to go to the outside, but Heinemeyer He handled the block right there. You saw Alan Branding trying to block him right there, but Heidemeyer would have none of that. And he made the play single-handedly. That's just great individual effort.
And Lincoln Southeast will line up to attempt a 37-yard field goal off the foot of Tony Young. 4 minutes to play, and flags fly. Movement on the right side of the Knights' offensive line. And this changes it from a 37-yard try to a 42-yard try. And now if you're Chuck Mazurski, what do? You got to get it into the end zone, and it'll come out to the 20-yard line. If you don't, then a little field position problem.
Exactly, Kevin. They're still going to line it up. They'll spot it at about the 32, make it a 42, as you said. Raby is the holder. Millard North leery as far as the play goes.
Fake it is, and they flip it inside, and Millard North is all over it. Goldsmith trying to advance it on the fake, but Millard North would not bite. And the Mustangs with new life, 3:49 to go, they get it back on the 21-yard line.
You can see from the defensive stance of some of those players that they just weren't going to buy it as far as a kick goes, and it was a fake kick. They pretty much had it handled all the way. And there you see Goldsmith trying to get up inside, and 4 white jerseys there to say hello. Well, here we go. Stretch run for Millard North. Why you play the game, guys?
1 point the difference in the state championship game with 3:49 to play. First down, and McCardle for the first time tonight in the gun. He'll keep it. Blockers out in front. Great burst of speed. McCardle down the sidelines. John McCardle into Southeast territory at the 44-yard line.
Kid is phenomenal. This time out of the gun. I haven't seen much of that tonight. And here he goes. 1-2 tackles missed there. Another one there. Almost right there. And it's race time now. Good job by Papik to catch up. And Logan Carr to help out.
Millard North, 190 yards rushing from their quarterback McCardle. In the gun again on 1st and 10 from the 44. Same play. A little better result for the Knight defense. Tripped by Lux, finished off by Goldsmith down to the 39-yard line of the Knights. 5-yard gain, and now over 200 yards on the day for McCardle.
Kevin, I just added it up. He had 739 yards in the playoffs from 190 tonight. He's up to 929 yards in 4 football games.
He's an amazing kid.
Oh, my.
2nd and 5 from the 39. There he goes again. McCardle up the middle, and the Knights close it down. Goldsmith again. Those two are going to have to spend a little time together outside of the football field because they've spent an awful lot of time together tonight. Goldsmith and McCardle have gotten very well acquainted in this one.
Hopefully they go out and take dance lessons. They can be together, but my goodness, it's been a battle down there. McCardle, there you see 11 barking out the signals.
3rd and 1 from the 35. McCardle again going to work. McCardle has the first down. He's got much more down the sideline and shoved out of bounds by Rude at the 18-yard line. First down for the Mustangs.
They line up those 2 backs on one side there. They get an extra blocker on the side and then leave it up to McCardle for there, but he leaves most of the Southeast defenders holding air. You saw number 81, Logan Geisler, trying to make the tackle, but just a shadow that he went for. And McCardle just continues to rip it up to 216 yards now.
The amazing thing about him, Abe, is that everybody in the building knows he's going to carry the football, and he still hasn't been stopped. Southeast is throwing everything but the kitchen sink at him, and he still will not go down. Over 200 yards rushing. And a first down at the 18-yard line. Chains were tangled a little bit there. They had to get them all straightened out. They're ready to go, and so are the Millard North Mustangs on the move. Late 4th quarter, 2:34 to play, down by 1. McCardle again with blockers. McCardle across the 15 and inside to the 12-yard line. A pickup of 6 for the quarterback slash running back slash offense, John McCardle.
Slash Superman, too. He's got a little red cape there to play with also, Kevin. They line up those 2 backs to one side, and again, everybody knows where the ball is going. They run it to that side most of the time, and McCardle Yep, here we go again.
Take your guess as to who will carry the mail on 2nd and 4. It's McCardle, and this time he will go nowhere. Southeast clogging it up. It was Matt Mullen who shut it down for no gain. 3rd down, and a huge 3rd down and 4 here for Millard North.
Now that time they had the 2 backs lined up to the right side. He took the snap, looked over there very quickly, and then just stepped to the left where Southeast shut it down.
They thought this game would be a good one in the heat of August, and now in the chill of November, this game has lived up to all of the months of waiting. 3rd down and 4 from the 12. And a timeout's going to be called by Millard North. They were a little out of sync as they came up to the line, and so they'll wisely use one of the 3 timeouts that they have. You cannot afford to screw anything up at this point in the game on this drive. Well, be sure to join us tomorrow at 1 o'clock Central Time for the Class C1 championship game as the Bishop Neumann Cavaliers take on the Gothenburg Swedes. We have complete coverage of all the 2002 Nebraska State High School football championship games right here on NETV, Nebraska's home for sports. Adrian Fiala, these next plays for Millard North and for Southeast, these are the memories of tomorrow for these kids. These are the plays they'll talk about in 5 years and in 10 years when they look back to the 2002 Class A State High School football championship.
Absolutely, Kevin. The intensity of this game, the hitting of this game, and just the overall functioning and performance, especially by John McCardle. I'll sit back and talk about that for a long, long time. As I said, probably till get to the end here. But again, what a football game this has been. As Millard North is about ready to see what they're going to do here, Kevin.
3rd down 4 from the Southeast 12. In the shotgun. McCardle has run every time out of the gun. He shovel passes to Galusha, and he is stopped. Short of the 1st down. Galusha is stopped. Drew Krutak, I believe, was the guy that got him initial contact. Let's watch it again.
Looking for McCardle, and there is the shuttle to
It is
Galusha.
Matt Mullen who got him.
Mullen got him right there, and he tried to extend it. Galusha tried to extend it, but that did not happen. It'll be 4th down, and Justin Peterson now becomes a factor in the ball game. He's their field goal kicker. I told you earlier on, as Fred Petito, the head coach at Millard North, said, we have to get it inside the 30 to kick it. Kevin, they're inside the 30. I was just taking a quick look here. Justin Peterson, he's attempted 1 field goal on the year, unsuccessful.
He took over when their main kicker, Keith Lloyd, was injured. Keith Lloyd, the fullback, defensive star, kicker, punter, he did it all. And as Fred Petito told us, when he went down, we had to replace him with about 5 guys. And this is one time they'd love to have him healthy. Will they kick it, or will they go for it on 4th and 2?
Yeah, that's the idea. And boy, this is a tough one to call right here. On a field goal attempt right now for Millard North, you have a couple, 3 factors. Again, they don't do very much. They have not done very much of that at all, Kevin. So you need a good snap, you need a good hold, and obviously you need good contact with the football. So those 3 factors, huge for Millard North right now. You know, they think, I'm sure, that they can pick this up. They can pick up a couple of yards with McCardle, as they've done all night with this young man. 33 carries, 222 yards. That's fine. They're going to go.
State title on the line right here. 4th down and 2 from the 10. If Southeast stops them, the Knights win the state championship. If Millard North gets it, they move on to a potential lead. McCardle on the keep. He has the 1st down. McCardle has the 1st down to the 7-yard line. 1st and goal, Millard North.
They're arguing about the spot right now. Referees are going to confer down there where he went down and whether or not his knee went down right at the 10-yard line or just inside of it. Take a look at it here.
Oh, they got a terrible spot, at least from where it initially looked.
Here's a replay, Kevin. Where's that knee go?
It does not go right there.
Right there.
And that is short of the 1st down. The officials do the job, and Southeast holds. Let's go downstairs to Larry Putney.
Guys, it was the official on the far sideline that saw the knee go down. The official on your sideline actually spotted it inside the 8, which would have been a first down. It was the official on this sideline who immediately came running in and told him that he saw a knee down right at about the 9, and that's when they spotted it.
Well, you knew immediately when that conference started it was going to be a problem as far as the spot goes. And this is a controversy that's going to persist for a while, I'm sure, Kevin.
On the replay, though, and to have the back of the officials for a minute, and they had to make it on the spot, it looked as if his knee did go down. And the sneak forward by Raby. Millard North will take their second timeout. And you can see the frustration and the disappointment on the face of John McCardle, who played a whale of a football game tonight. 1:09 to go. And now Fred Petito with the timeout gets the chance to come out under the auspices of talking to his team and chat with the officials about that call.
Going right to Tucker Kehoe, the referee for the evening. Kehoe out of Hastings, Nebraska. And there is Fred continuing to chat with Kehoe. Chuck Mazurski out there to put a little fire into his team. Hey guys, we got 1:09 left here to go. Hang on to football. Still some time left. It's not over yet. Petito telling his charges the same thing, Kevin. Go for the football. We did it a couple of times earlier. We can do it again.
Second down and 8. Crowd still disgruntled on the Mustang side, as they will be for quite some time. A controversial call on 4th down by the officials of the Knights. With a 2nd and 8. Give it to Rude. Rude lunging forward. They're stripping at the ball, trying to rip it out of, not Rude, but Goldsmith's hands. And Goldsmith hanging on to it. No, it is Rude. Rude did have the carry. And it'll belong to the Knights, and a timeout taken by Millard North. 3rd down and 5 from the 14. And here comes Chuck Mazurski out again to talk to his troops with 1 minute to go to a state championship.
Millard North out of timeouts, Kevin. I think you just mentioned that, or did you not? Okay, out of timeouts. They indeed need to hold it right here, and if they get the ball back, they'll have a little bit of time. But a guy like McCardle, you know, one play is enough for McCardle. And your point is so well taken earlier that you know what they're going to do. I mean, this kid's all over the place. 223 yards. Let's add it up here quickly.
While we add it up, we'll go downstairs to Larry Putney.
Guys, we talked a little bit about Petito's decision to go for it on 4th. I thought it was a great call. You put the ball in the hands of your best player and try to get it.
Well, the kicking's been so inconsistent this year since Lloyd was out. You have to do it. Rude on the left side, working as hard as he can to string it out and run more clock. He's down at the 14. It's 4th down, but Millard North cannot stop the clock. They will get the football back. As soon as the play is set, they'll wind the play clock. They do wind it, and Millard North will get it back with about 10 seconds to go in this 4th quarter. And you can see an unhappy Fred Petito on the sidelines for Millard North. What a battle it has been tonight in the Class A State High School Football Championship. A tremendous football game.
Indeed it has. Just a hard-fought game, a hard-hitting game, as the play clock's going to wind down. With about 12 seconds left here in the ball game, the play clock has wound down.
Timeout taken by Southeast. They don't want to be pushed back any further now. You have to assume Millard North will come with everything on this punt, as a block punt changes the entire complexion, obviously, of the game. And there is the kicker warming up for Millard North, Justin Peterson. They had a chance to use him inside the 10 on 4th down. They chose instead to go with the run. McCardle and the Mustangs thought he had it. Initially was marked with a 1st down, and then on the far side the official ran in, saw the knee down, and on replay the knee was down just shy, it looked on the replay, of the 1st down marker.
And Kevin, as we talked to Petito, Coach Petito before the game, said, Fred, you need to pick up 2 or 3 yards. Which way you go? And he said, we're going to go right. And they did go right over Peacock and Olson. 290 and 300 respectively.
10 men up.
Unfortunately, the knee went down. There we go.
10 men up on the line for Millard North, trying to block the punt of Tony Young. Here they come, and Young gets it off. Back to get it is Aaron Flynn. Flynn fumbles the football. The Knights have it. And Southeast will win the Class A State Football Championship. A flag is thrown for excessive celebration. And I don't know if any celebration can be too excessive when you win a game like this one.
Not at all, Kevin. The Southeast bench just went absolutely bonkers over there. Chuck's trying to get his people off the field, and still 4 ticks of the clock left here.
An unsportsmanlike call. You got a hard time. I really have a hard time faulting the kids for that one.
Chuck made no mistake about it, telling them, you go to a knee right now.
They were champions in 2000, champions in 98 and in 97 and 92 and in 91. Lincoln Southeast will now be called champions of 2002. And the Knights. Raby takes a knee. Ball game is over. The Knights celebrate as their fans storm the field at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. Lincoln Southeast, your Class A state champions.
And Kevin, this will not end. This game will not end without the controversy that we talked about as far as whether or not that knee was down. But I think that replay clearly showed that knee was down. And unfortunately for Millard North, a great football team that they have, again, just a matter of inches on that play creates a loss here in the state championship finals.
Heartbreaking night for the Mustangs of Millard North, who were so close, undefeated all year, and end up 1 point shy of perhaps winning the state championship. Lincoln Southeast does it. They win it 7-6 in a thriller in Lincoln. NETV sports coverage of the 2002 Nebraska State High School Football Championships are brought to you in part by ACE, the Public Alliance for Community Energy, your hometown choice for natural gas. By Brian LGH, the first name in healthcare. And by NPPD, always there when you need us. The Southeast flag flying high tonight in Lincoln as the homestanding hometown Knights get a 1-point win over Millard North in one of the best football games you'll see at any level all year. What a game tonight.
Incredible game, hard-hitting game, well played, a lot of emotion, a lot of passion. We got to see one of the finest high school runners I've ever seen, Kevin, and John McCardle tonight. 34 carries for 223 yards. His 4-game playoff total as far as yardage goes, 963 yards. And my goodness, that's almost 1,000 yards in 4 games for that young man, and what a great effort he had put together tonight. Bo Rude takes a pass. He caught a couple of passes tonight, but he takes one in for the touchdown. He'd only caught 2 coming into the ball game tonight in the season, 1 for a touchdown. Capitalizes again tonight, catches a pass, takes it in for the TD. So 2 of the big stars shine, Kevin, and again, Lincoln Southeast puts one away here, and that is just tough. That's just, this young man played his heart out. They all played their hearts out, quite frankly, but John McCardle trying to emotionally get over this one. I dare say it'll be a while before that happens.
Well, let's go to our public address announcer, Dave Shalene, for the awards ceremony.
The Nebraska School Activities Association is happy to have medals and trophies for both of these outstanding teams. The awards presentations will be made by NSAA Board of Control members Dr. Marshall Adams from Seward, Dr. Barb Resnicek from Omaha West Side, and U.S. Bank Representative Dolores Tierway and Connie Dominski. Here are the awards for Class A runner-up Millard North. Will head coach Fred Petito and your assistants please come to the sideline stage to present the silver medals to the members of your team. Players, as your name is called, please come forward to receive your medal.
Yeah, Bruce, come on up.
Number 1, Chad Irish. Number 2, Aaron Flynn. Number 3, Matt Van Hoos. Number 5, Robbie Knight. Number 6, Luke Christensen. Number 7, Chris Ranke. Number 8, Adam Shada. Number 9, Cliff Tullis. Number 10, James Moran. Number 11, John McCardle. Number 12, Jimmy Conway. Number 13, Jeff Tarpinian. Number 15, Jake DeLucia. Number 18, Justin Peterson. Number 19, Brandon Cloxton. Number 20, Dan Subcheck. Number 21, Cam Tatvar. Number 22, Ryan Copia. Number 23, John Kimbrough. Number 24, Balin Birdman. Number 25, Jake Finicum. Number 27, Joe Fury. Number 29, Trevor Nashlinis. Number 30, Tom Gargano. Number 31, Sam Merrill. Number 32, Keith Lloyd. Number 33, Diego Harvey. Number 34, Jake Behrens. Number 40, Josh Kohler. Number 41, Mike Armstrong. Number 42, Matt Wagner. Number 43, Colin McDermott. Number 44, Paul Homer. Number 45, Sean O'Connell. Number 47, David Thorson. Number 49, Matt Davies. Number 51, Dave Heinemeyer. Number 54, Matt Lindell. Number 54, Mike Brooks. Number 55, Danny Wages. Number 56, Matt Severa. Number 57, Grant Hayek. Number 58, AJ Munch. Number 59, TJ O'Leary. Number 60, Nate Fair. Number 64, Brad Underwood. Number 65, Andrew Kangeiser. Number 66, Rob Fair. Number 67, Ross Haley. Number 68, Brad Abramson. Number 69, Corey Shalito. Number 72, Charlie Peacock. Number 73, Kevin Nicklin. Number 74, Mitch Smolin. Number 75, Nikon Nitbuapa. Number 76, Seth Olson. Number 77, Mark Nelson. Number 78, Adam Nelson. Number 79, Andrew Raymond. Number 80, Mitch Burt. Number 84, David Antonson. Number 88, Mecca Solomon. Number 88, Kyle Crum. Number 89, Jason Jewell. Number 91, Brad Rooker. Number 97, John McDonald. And number 98, Brian Ingram. And now, here's the Class 2002 Class A runner-up trophy. Congratulations, Millard North High School.
Now the pain is obvious right now on the faces of the Millard North Mustangs.
Kevin, we hear in sports about the agony of defeat, and this is beyond that for Millard North. I've never seen a team so dejected, and I can understand that. They've really poured their hearts into the season, had such a great year, and then have it all boiled down to about a space of about 8 or 9 and 10 inches there. It's incredible.
Lincoln Southeast, the champions in Class A. Larry Putney's got more on the Knights.
Well, the mood obviously much different on this sideline, fellas. Just a great atmosphere down here for the Lincoln Southeast, winning their 8th overall state championship. And a great moment afterward as Matt Miller, a 5', 5" wide receiver, you see him there, number 80, walked up to Coach, gave him a hug after the game. Coach grabbed the front of his jersey, and Matt hasn't been in a game all year, guys, hasn't played yet this year. Coach grabbed him, pointed him in the chest, and said, son, you have no idea how much you helped us this year. You helped us win a state championship. I don't think the smile's left his face yet, guys.
That's the face of high school sports right there. The kid that comes out, love of the game, and helps win a state championship. Dave Shalane standing by now with the award ceremonies for the state champions, the Southeast Knights.
Now to the champions from Lincoln Southeast High School. First, head coach Chuck Mazurski. We have a special award for you. Now, Coach, would you and your assistants hand out the gold medals to the members of your championship team? Players, as your name is called, please come forward to receive your medal. Number 1, Logan Papik. Number 2, Cole McManigal. Number 2, Ryan Hevican. Number 4, Jason Barton. Number 5, Andy Burkle. Number 6, Travis Bornemeyer. Number 7, Nick Baugh. Number 8, Jeff Carr. Number 9, Matt Meyer. Number 10, Brett Wirgen. Number 10, Trent Price. Number 11, Jared Backus. Number 11, TJ Degenhart. Number 12, Zach Mutchie. Number 13, Zach Raby. Number 14, Jim Dawson. Number 15, Kent Campbell. Number 16, John Hedgecock. Number 19, Brett Gordon. Number 20, Andrew Young. Number 22, Nick Richardson. Number 23, Doug Canzier. Number 24, Matt Bloom. Number 25, Tom Gift. Number 26, Kyle Ballou. Number 28, Terrell Bell. Number 29, Wade Kalama. Number 30, Corey Shepard. Number 30, Kyle Anderson. Number 31, Trent Neiman. Number 32, Bo Rude. Number 34, Cody Foreman. Number 34, Ben Schleiger. Number 36, Drew Burson. Number 38, Drew Krutak. Number 39, Brett Broman. Number 40, Tim Lutz. Number 41, Tony Young. Number 42, Brian Goldsmith. Number 43, Adam Porter. Number 44, Devin Segavino. Number 46, Tyler Gordon.
Snap under pressure.
Number 47, Sean Bade.
Congratulations. Thanks, brother.
Number 48, Cole Meyer. Number 49, Sean Golden. Number 49, Tony Roberson. Number 50, Mike Pease. Number 51, Tyler Peterson. Number 54, Brandon Bolin. Number 56, Tanner Miller. Number 57, Jared Stoner.
Tanner Miller. Good job, Tanner. Good job, Tanner.
Number 58, Matt Mullen. Number 60, Brian Russell. Number 61, Jake Nielsen. Number 62, Justin Busboom.
Get well now. We need you next year.
Number 63, Andrew Kelly. Number 64, Tom Von Renssel.
You're going to be a really good player.
Number 65, Scott Piper. Number 66, Isaiah Krutak. Number 66, Kyle Tate. Number 68, Andy Dolka. Number 70, Cole Gore. Number 72, Stephen Miller. Number 73, Ryan Ledren. Number 74, Alan Branting. Number 75, Zach Blobaum. Number 76, Andrew Umland. Number 77, Zach Koppel. Number 78, Dane Wilkin. Number 79, Daniel Rowe. Number 80, Matt Miller. Number 81, Logan Geisler. Number 82, Billy Alexander. Number 84, Andy Sand. Number 85, Aaron Locke. Number 86, Jason Lowe. Number 89, Justin Fearhusen. Number 90, Danny Kuzma. Number 95, Matt Hill. Number 97, Matt Seelig. And number 99, Jason Davila. And now for these outstanding athletes and their school, here is the 2002 Class A State Football Championship Trophy. Congratulations, Lincoln Southeast High School.
Never before has it been painted so eloquently. The agony of defeat and the thrill of victory. Lincoln Southeast experiencing the thrill, and Millard North certainly exhibiting the agony. State championship determined by the slimmest of margins here in Class A, a 1-point win for Lincoln Southeast, and Larry Putney is standing by with the head coach of the champions, Chuck Mazurski.
Yeah, a very wet Chuck Mazurski. He just got the water bath following the game.
We'll take it.
Coach, talk about the play right out of the halftime. Is that something you decided you were going to run out at half?
We had worked on it all week, and I don't know, we're a little maybe reluctant in the first half. We wanted to see, it's kind of like a heavyweight fight. You're punching, and we just thought, well, we need to get a great athlete out on the perimeter and let him try to make a play for us, and we got the protection and we got a great throw, and the athlete made the play for us.
And maybe the most remarkable thing about that play is that you did run it during the week, but Bo Rude never ran it because he sat out. The first time he ran that play was in pregame warm-ups today.
That's exactly right. He just, he's got more aches and pains than I don't know who, and he just couldn't practice, but he's a great athlete, and he's a very intelligent. You tell him one time, and he gets bored if you tell him twice. He knows how to play. He comes from an athletic family, so we weren't ever really concerned that he couldn't make the play.
Talk about the job your defense did on McCardle.
Well, it's unbelievable. I mean, he's a great athlete, and I know he got a lot of yards, but boy, to only let him in the end zone once is just an unbelievable effort by those kids.
This is the 8th. They never get old, do they?
No, they don't.
Congratulations.
No. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Classy move you saw while Coach Mazurski was talking. Bo Rude comes over to give a hug to John McCardle.
You know what? That probably says it all for me right there. Those two guys, the two warriors on the field tonight, they put it together, shake hands, hug each other, and move on. But, man, that was a great picture, a great shot, and that made me feel, actually, Kevin, that made me feel very, very good. So, but John McCardle will have to live with this one for a while, but he will move on. He hopefully will have a great career as he moves ahead.
Well, what a night tonight at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln.